Brandon Aiyuk hasn't been paid. We haven't stopped talking about him. The holdout, the hold-in remains. And Larry, buzz around camp today is there are scouts saying the unhappiness with Aiyuk is real.
Well, yeah, there's a scout that wrote for Athlons who did the breakdown of the Niners, like the annual breakdown, and said that, hey, this discontent from Aiyuk is real and that he's really unhappy. He did attend practice today. He's kind of in a weird situation. He's like standing there by himself, and he's not with his teammates. I mean, then Dante Whitner was standing next to him for a while, and Frank Gore was standing next to him for a while. Then they kind of walked away, and he's kind of standing there by himself. So, I mean, I think the hold in is still preferable to the holdout, sure. but Mark Schlereth went on the radio and just ripped the hell out of him. I don't know if you saw any of that, but
I did. Stink was all over him talking about selfishness and like he understands it, but the opportunity to, he's like Aiyuk's leaving money on the table by acting like this is what he basically said.
I just think that the old school guys don't respect it. They're like, you know what? If you're going to hold out, hold out. Let me see if I can find the cut. But yeah, I mean, I personally, I just feel like, there's something to that. It's like, if you're going to hold out, go all the way. Instead, it's like, I don't want to be fined. I
guess there's a part of me that would agree with that because I'm like a stubborn old man myself, but I do think that there is something to be gained from being on premises. I know that Shanahan has been, hardly complimentary of the hold in, but I think it is better than holding out. I think it is.
Here's Schlereth. Let's hear Schlereth.
Hold on. And if you're going to be around the team, Larry, and you're just going to be, a one-man pouting party, that's no good. Here's what Mark Schlereth
here's what Schlereth, and then we'll comment. We'll see what Schlereth said, and then we'll comment.
All right. Brandon Aiyuk, like what he has become, because he wasn't what he is now is not what he was originally, right? He got drafted late in the first round, I think 31 or something like that. He is a good, solid player in a really good system. But if I was ranking value of players on the San Francisco 49ers offense, so, I mean, Trent Williams notwithstanding, okay? Just if I'm not, that I won't call them the S word.
You're talking about the skill position.
Yeah, guys. I don't use that.
You don't use that?
The periphery players.
You hate that.
Right. The ball handlers.
If you ever, folks, want to get under Mark Schlereth's skin, two things. Ask him about his landscaping company, or ask him about skill position players, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends.
Yeah, the most skilled position player they need to take care of him. That's Trent Williams. He's got the most skill.
Okay.
So the periphery players, the ball handlers, those guys. If you look at the ball handler dudes in San Francisco, right? There are like, where does he rank? Level of importance, where is he? Christian McCaffrey would be number one. Then I would say probably Deebo Samuel be number two. Then I would go George Kittle would be number three.
You could easily flip-flop those two.
Yeah. And then I would go Brandon Aiyuk, and followed probably by Kyle Juszczyk as the fullback /
All right. So someone doesn't watch an awful lot of 49ers football, but okay.
Are you, and you know how I feel about the value of the value of the wide receiver position and how it's gone haywire. It's crazy, right? So, but Brandon Aiyuk, understand where you are. Hey, do you deserve to get paid? Yeah, you deserve to get paid, but do you deserve to be a top 10 paid wide receiver in the National Football League? Absolutely not.
What do you make of these sit-ins? So the idea of a sit-in is that you show up so that they can't fine you.
Right.
But then you say, I'm not going to do this drill or that drill. I'm here, but I'm not fully participating.
Yeah, I think it's chicken shit. If you drop a set of nuts and don't show up, or show up. And if you're going to show up and you're going to be around your teammates and you're going to be in the locker room and you're going to do that, don't let them go out and do all the work and you just sit around. Yeah, either have the balls to sit out or come to camp and participate. I think the sit-in stuff is. I think it's. I don't know. It feels like it's toothless to me.
All right, we got.
What do you think?
Anything, Larry? Do we need to finish it? I think we got the gist of it there. So my first observation is Mark Schlereth does not watch a lot of 49ers football. Brandon Aiyuk, I think, is the second most important guy touching the football. Christian McCaffrey being number one, Aiyuk number two, then Debo, Kittle, kind of interchangeable. Then I'd go to Jennings.
Why does it even matter?
To use check. He is.
But why does it even matter?
I mean,
why does it even matter where he ranks?
Right.
What if this team had Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, but all of a sudden they had Terrell Owens and Randy Moss? Should Terrell Owens and Randy Moss not be paid like top tier receivers because they're not as good as Jerry Rice?
Right.
It's like that part of it's a little like okay. And also, has Schlereth been drinking? He sounded like. It's like you slurry his word.
He's coming into the thing. Look, hey, somebody gave me a nice bottle. Erwin brought me a nice bottle of Michter's to Plus Mania. So I even might start drinking before the end of the day. But like Schlereth, starting to open up with I don't like skill position. He sounds a little crusty and angry that those guys make more money than linemen right there. And if I were a lineman, I guess I'd feel the same way too.
The guys who handle the ball are the most important guys in the field.
Well, I mean, football is all blocking and tackling, and everything else just sells tickets and makes people cheer.
No,
so I wouldn't say that at all.
Dallas, you're saying Dallas wouldn't have been Dallas? They had Emmett, Irvin, and Aikman. That was Dallas. Who was their center when Stepnoski left? Nobody knows or cares because it doesn't really matter. It was like, the John Giesiks of the world, the guys who went to Sac State and played for Dallas. These guys were on Mike Kiselak, who played in the Canadian League, started for Dallas there for a while. So, I mean, you're the guys who handle the ball. If you want to change your fortunes, change the guys who handle the ball. That's the fastest way to change a football team is to change out the quarterback, the running back, the wide receivers, the tight end, the guys who handle the football. I'm not saying that the O-line's not important or the D-line's not important. I'm just saying the guys who handle the football are the real, like, what's really special about the Patriots dynasty? It was Tom Brady and Randy Moss and Wes Welker and Julian Edelman and Deion Branch and the guys who handled Gronk, the guys who touched the ball, Vinatieri. Those were the special guys.
Right.
Who were the special guys for the Niners?
No one really handles the ball without protection. I'm not. We're not.
No, I know, but I mean, like for the Niners, I mean, go to the greatest teams. Patriots. Look at who touched it. Kansas City. Look who touches it. Dallas in the 90s. Look who touched it. Niners in the 80s. Look who touched it. I'm just saying. The guys who touch the ball make a huge impact.
Of course they do. Of course they do. But the guys who aren't touching the ball are also making a huge impact. A football team is really no better than the worst guy out there. That's sort of the beauty of the sport. That's what makes it the ultimate team sport in my mind. But, again, Schlereth comes off a little angry and a little just like he feels like he's predisposed to not like any wide receiver who was asking for money. I didn't see the Mark Schlereth fuck Nick Bosa for holding out video. We didn't get one of those. I don't think maybe there is one of those and I just didn't see it. But, this feels it's
a little old school. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, it definitely a little old school. Get off his lawn. The one thing where I will say, all right, I guess that is a more mannish way to go about it. If this is about measuring mannishness, not, an attempt to try to get something done, which to me, that's what Aiyuk's hold in represents. I'm not going to be cynical and just say he's a guy trying to not get fined. I'm going to say they're trying. He would like something on premises to generate a conclusion to this long-going conversation. I would like that. I think we'd all like that. But if Schlereth says, if you're about standing on business, then go ahead and stand on business. Well, I kind of agree with that too. Like Brandon Aiyuk, you want to talk about no leverage. A little bit of the leverage would be an absence, and he doesn't even have that. He won't even not be there. So weird way to go about it. The fact that he's been holding in for days now and the story is still out there that he's wildly unhappy, it doesn't feel like we're about to end this on a happy note, does it, Larry?
Well, I'm torn on this one too, because it's like I'm all for the players getting all their money. And I hate when I hear players fined for uniform violations and things like that, because they're risking paralysis. They are the product in the most popular sport that America has to offer. They do generate billions, literally billions of dollars with their sport. And I just feel like I hate seeing there's no guaranteed contracts for the most part. So many of the rank and file players are poor within 3 or 4 years after done playing. And it really bothers me. So I don't like taking the players' money, period. I just don't like it. I don't believe you should. But I do kind of agree with Schlereth in that, it's like, what are you really risking? I mean, at least a holdout, you're risking something. What are you risking if you're holding in? Nothing. You're not risking anything. You're risking nothing. You're not going to get fined because you're there, but you're not playing, and you're not getting ready to win games. So it's like you're there, but you're not really there.
It's the ultimate. If I can,
it's like a divorce. It's like something before pre-divorce. She lives in the house, and you pay for her, and but you guys never sleep together, and you hate each other.
It is,
and it's a 5-year period, and it's a pre-divorce period. It's not a divorce. It's not. It's pre-divorce. I mean, it's like, what difference does it make,
Larry? It's purgatory. You're not in heaven.
Yeah. You're not in heaven. You're not in hell.
It's not a blue sky. It's not burning hot. It's just gray, lukewarm purgatory. And that's where Brandon Aiyuk lives right now. You're right. He is. He's the guy who's getting a divorce, but the wife still lives there.
She still lives there, and she doesn't make dinner, and she's kinds of complains about stuff, but she's still there, and she won't leave, and it's like, sounds like a nightmare. But she won't leave. No, but I kind of understand where Schlereth is coming from. He's a lot of get off my lawn, but I do understand that he's basically saying it's kind of weak sauce to hold in.
A little bit.
Holding in is a little weak.
Again, like, if the whole thing is you're going to the mattresses, if you're going to the mattresses, go there. If you're, this is like tiptoeing to the mattresses or tiptoeing around the mattresses. It is a little weird.
It's like a manager in baseball arguing balls and strikes from like the back corner of the dugout. And when the umpire is like, hey, you can't argue balls and strikes. He's like, hey man, I'm just down here in the back corner of the dugout.
Wasn't me
down here. Hey, it wasn't me. I'm down here. It's a little chicken-esque. It's a little chicken-esque.
Wasn't me.
I
Like,
mean, you heard Wotus. That was Wotus.